Hey bro, it's Jake here. And today, man, I don't even want to be on camera. I really find it difficult to be on camera. It's my least liked kind of medium, but I'm challenging myself to be here. I want to talk about how to go after something that you kind of lack at, or that you're kind of struggling to go after because you fear what other people are going to say, or maybe you just feel a bit self-conscious. I want to have the talk with you that I wish I had, that someone like a mentor or like an older brother or something like that, or even just a mate or a bro gave to me and backed me up with completely. There's 5 points I make here, and it's so important because if you learn this, if you get this mindset right, which I would call the results mindset, you can apply this into every single area of your life. And it really means that you've come into your own as a man, as a young man, whatever that may be. And I think it's essential because I feel like men are beat down, maybe pulled apart in society, maybe led astray by different sort of influences. And I think it's just so important that you learn how to create results for yourself, for your loved ones, and for your community and who you serve. So we're about to lay it down. Um, if you haven't been experiencing results, if you haven't been making breakthroughs and you've been kind of stuck, this one's going to really help you. So let's start off with point one. And here's a simple one: increase self love. Like, oh my gosh, bro, the way that you treat yourself, like, if you were to treat anyone else like that same way, it would not fly. You'd be a bully, a nasty person, a psychopath. Yet, like, we are happy just to hate on ourselves, go against ourselves, and beat on ourselves, and then expect that we're not going to do that to others. Like, bro, in this world, there are so few people who care about you or are on your side, right? And those that we love, sometimes they fail us because they're struggling themselves. Like, you yourself do not need to be against yourself. Like, the first step is to not be against yourself. The first step is to start treating yourself with compassion, and then maybe you can extend that compassion out to others. Like, it's so important. So that means when you fail, when you mess something up really badly, something you do something cringe, right? And you're going to do something cringe, like you're on the path to success, you face challenges. It doesn't mean that you're going to beat yourself up and kind of demonize yourself and hate yourself and make yourself shrink. No, in that moment, you learn to love yourself, open yourself up to self compassion, increase your self love. Because if your self love was to increase overnight, your ability to take action, to fail, to do anything you want would just go through the roof. And that would probably be enough. But the second one, now this is kind of an interesting one, and it kind of goes on with the self love one. It's kind of controversial. Not everyone is ready to hear it, but it's your darkness, like your inner darkness, your shadow, right? That's what Carl Jung calls it, the shadow. It's this part of you that you've suppressed, that childlike intensity that you have been that has been socialized out of you. See, you have been programmed out of going after things and making things happen and creating results. You've been programmed to be a good boy or a good girl or whatever you call it. And your true impulses, your true darkness has been repressed out of you. Now, in a lot of ways, that's a good thing because you don't want people going around being selfish, doing stupid things, and not considering others. But it's now time for you to like awaken that back up again, love it, and let it serve you. Like, you let it serve you. You're not going to serve your dark impulses. You're going to let the power, that pure curiosity, serve you in your goals. Like, as a kid, you didn't care what anyone thought. You just wanted what you wanted, like 100% commitment. There's this childlike intensity in which you go after things and you don't give a crap about what anyone is thinking about it. And that capacity is within you. And people fear it, people respect it. And you start to respect yourself when you realize that it's within you. Right? That's like realizing your power. realizing the thing that you thought was evil and that was your darkness wasn't necessarily evil. It didn't need to be socialized out of you completely. And now you can use it for good. You can take your darkness, which is inside you, and you can use it for good. And it means that if you have to go battle, if you have to go to war, you can. It means that you can snarl when you have to snarl. It means you can tell someone to piss off or be really assertive when you need to or step down when you have to. And it also means that you probably won't need to ever again because that darkness is in you and it's integrated. So integrate your shadow. Go look to the darkness and connect with it. Okay, number 3, increase your love for others. Like, okay, so, we talked about self-love and the darkness, but when you increase your love and you accept your darkness, you actually start to see it, understand it, and love it within others. You start to increase your love for others. And as your love for others increase, that means your mission and your ability and want to contribute becomes your new focus. So instead of being so focused on yourself, you start focusing on serving others, and then you start doing incredible things. You start giving back to the world, and things come your way because when you give, you're actually creating room to receive. That's what happens. It's just like, it's law. If you want to learn more about it, check out the book, The Go Giver. It's a fantastic book. So give, learn to love. And the way you do that is you love your neighbor as oneself, right? That's a classic biblical principle. You look to your neighbor and you serve them and you love them like no other. And this brings me to point 4, is deleting self-consciousness. Let me break that word down. Self-conscious. It means a self is in your consciousness. You're thinking about yourself. And when you're thinking about yourself, everything can go wrong. You try to control everything. You become exhausted. You never try anything. You try to protect what other people are going to say about you. You become so freaking fragile, right? But you don't need a self to go ahead and achieve beautiful things. Yourself is already here. Like if you stop thinking about yourself, you wouldn't drop out of existence. No, you would still be here. You'd just be doing what you're doing. And if you've ever been in a social situation or fun situation or playing a game or something or just hanging out with mates where you haven't been on your mind, you've just been laughing, totally absorbed in the moment, you really know that you can exist without self-consciousness. As you learn to respect that point more, it will plant a seed inside you, and naturally your mind will drop its self-consciousness and you'll be free to do as your intuition, what's inside you, what God is telling you to do, what your mission is telling you to do, much more freely. So that's going to free you up in a lot of ways, and you can spend a whole video on that. Now number 5, this is the simplest thing. Like this is where it really, like the rubber meets the road. It's taking small steps, like stupid small steps. Like when I was starting my podcast or doing this YouTube, I would do only what's possible, just a little bit of what's possible. Because when you do just what's possible or just what's easy for today, you make a contribution, you make that little deposit, and that deposit accrues interest. And eventually you're out here doing what you always dreamed of doing just because you started small. But the key is to get out of your own mind and get into the world. When you get caught up in your head too much or about any sort of venture, and you're getting caught up when you have spent like months thinking about something, when you get caught up, just drop it for a moment and take the smallest action. You can start thinking about it again or during the action, like you can do it after, but just try that. What happens is that your thought quality changes. You make an investment into yourself, into your character, into your self-esteem when you take a small action, and that grows and grows and grows. So that's just really powerful, important stuff. And with all these concepts, you're not going to know how to implement them, and these things aren't going to change overnight. I mean, they could. I'm not going to limit you. But what you got to do, you got to wrestle with them. You got to reflect on them. You got to see the points that were made and let them sink into your mind. These are seeds that are planted, and they will open your mind. And you just reflect, you journal on this, you meditate, you stick to your exercise, you do these good things. And eventually you will be able to break through and do what you love and what you know you should be doing. So that's how you go after what you lack. That's how you really create results. Thank you.